Thanks, Star. We have some breaking news to tell you about. LAPD in pursuit of a reckless driving suspect out of West LA. We've got Justin O'Brien live in Skyfox overhead. Justin, what can you tell us on this one?
Yes, g'day, Susan. This pursuit started about 10 minutes ago, actually in the West Hollywood area. LAPD picked it up, as you said, reckless driver. The person here clearly knows that they're got police following there. The rear vision mirror is lighting up like a Christmas tree. Playing a little bit of game of cat and mouse here. Tesla keeps stopping and starting. Currently in the Hollywood area, Susan. Spike strips have been authorised, as well as a pit manoeuvre. There's an LAPD ship overhead, and again this driver is wanted for reckless driving. Unclear whether they're driving under the influence, and not quite sure what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment they've just stopped, but police aren't really doing much. Here's the thing about a Tesla: eventually it will run out of battery. So there it goes, takes off once again. Maybe they were following the traffic lights. Is that what the situation was, Justin?
Yes, we've got to give it to the driver. They are following the traffic signal, stopping and starting. The one good thing is happening here, we'll pull a little bit wide, you might be able to see that light there.
Well, that's a green light, isn't it?
Green, they are stopped. Yeah, that's a green light, turning orange there now, and shortly red. One good thing about this is, though, if it is a pursuit, they're certainly driving quite slowly, not really endangering the traffic, but causing a little bit of backup for anybody here on the roads here tonight. They're slowly making their way towards downtown. As you see, LAPD here blocking off the road. This is the on the right-hand side there is your eastbound lane, right-hand side is the westbound. And as you said, yeah, this Tesla, I believe a Tesla probably has about 400 mile distance. Is that correct, Susan?
Depends on the battery size. But that was interesting because it looked as if it went through a red light, correct? And stopping once again. It's so odd. You know, back in the day, they were talking about how eventually manufacturers will put in a stop switch so that in situations like this, they'd be able to stop a car, but that never really happened. And the thing is about Tesla is if you have the app, the driver can, when the car is stopped like that, the driver can, not the driver, but whomever has the app, would be able to change it to valet mode, which would reduce the speed. But if the person in there owns that car or is justified in driving that car, then, you know, why would they turn their car into valet mode, which would slow it down? So it's very odd that the car keeps stopping and starting. And anyone who's driven a battery-operated car knows that their takeoff speed can be quite fast. So it is a suburban street, or it's a, you know, it's not a highway. So there's not very far that you can go when you want to take off quickly, but every time they start up again, they're going quite slowly. This is not what you would call the most dramatic of pursuits. Oh, now, what's that? What do you see there on that corner?
No, it's going so slow. Yeah, this is actually a stringer. We've got a guy with the camera, obviously makes money selling video of incidents like this. It's going so slow that he's been able to get up in front of it, and it appears that he's actually going to try to get really close and film the individual driving the vehicle. I'm going to try and push in a little bit tighter here. You might be able to see how many passengers there are, if there's a passenger other than the driver. Unfortunately, that building's giving us a little trouble.
Yep.
Just a little bit of magic here from Skyfox.
Yeah, nice tinted windows, too. Make it difficult to see. So all of this started with a reckless driving want. I hate to confess this, but sometimes the Tesla will do kind of weird things if you have it in autopilot mode. So I would hate for somebody to pull me over and accuse me of reckless driving, and then I would say something like, well, it's just what the car did. For some reason, it just wanted to stop. Like sometimes through the cameras, like especially in that situation with different lights and shadows, sometimes the cameras can get a little confused. But you know, look how many cars they have. How many vehicles are following? How many black and whites? Is it 3 or more? 4, 5, 6? That's quite a few black and whites following this car.
Yeah, definitely. They want to have enough there. Obviously, it's a very unpredictable situation. You don't know whether the driver may end up in an area, a house. It could be a house party, and a lot of people will come out. You don't know whether a group may form around the vehicle. So you want to make sure there's enough police on hand to be able to control any situation that occurs. It appears the person certainly knows what they're doing. I just asked pilot Chris to come around a little bit to the front so we can have a bit of a look and see if there's any passengers there. But it appears that it only is the driver. And again, they're only playing a game of cat and mouse. As I said, LAPD has been authorised to do a pit manoeuvre on this vehicle, as well as looking to see if there's any possibility of spike strips, I would assume, if they can get ahead of it. One good thing, I come back again, that Susan is certainly not travelling very fast, so there's really not the sort of danger we usually would see with a high-speed pursuit. And let's just see if maybe possibly this gentleman might run out of battery soon.
Well, look at this van, too, that took a U-turn there. Wonder what the van was thinking. Meantime, it's parked at, or not parked, but it's stopped at a red curb. And it is so curious, though. Now it's taking off again. I see you trying to zoom a little bit more to see who's in the driver's seat. And as you say, it looks as if it's just the driver. No one sitting next to whomever that is.
Oh. What
was that?
Yeah, that was actually a spike strip. That was a spike strip, Susan. He just ran over the spike strip. And it appears that he might have caught the driver's side wheels there. So we'll just move a little bit to the west side of the street if we can, please, Chris. And then try and look at those wheels, yeah.
Meantime, it was interesting. There was a black and white that went around the car. I thought maybe it would take a U-turn and, you know, stop the car, but it didn't. It kept going. Then you have that pedestrian there taking a look, and there it goes again, or stops again.
Yeah, certainly. Again, you know, I suppose these pursuits only can happen in Hollywood. And again, this thing's going so slowly. Somebody's seen that great shot there of the LAPD airship going through frame here. The person there seeing that it is a pursuit, just running out into the street there. I don't know if that's a homeless individual or who that was. But certainly it appears that that vehicle did run over a spike strip there. Unfortunately, at night time, it's a little bit hard to see. And I know these are low-profile tyres, so we may not be able to see for sure whether or not they have lost air. But I did see the spike strips bounce up in the air, so the vehicle did definitely hit those.
Santa Monica Boulevard and North Kingsley Drive in Hollywood, that is an area that's typically pretty populated, at least during earlier hours of the day and night. But as we watched, this Tesla just basically stopped in the road on the center divider or on the dotted line there. You know, it just is so bizarre that they will stop and start again. In this kind of situation, since they must be talking to the driver, wouldn't you say, Justin? Trying to get the driver out. Because only then
yes,
is it considered end of the pursuit.
When you stop like this.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a situation like this. They're on the loudspeaker from the police vehicle, telling the person to stop, to get out, open the door, and hoping they would do that. No doubt the individual's deciding not to, but again, they have plenty of backup here if the person wants to get out and start running or something along like that. Now I'm trying to zoom in a little bit tighter here. Apologise for the quality, just to try and have a look there and see whether we can tell if any of those tyres are deflating at the moment. It's just a little bit hard to tell with the colour of the tyres and the colour of the bitumen.
Yeah. Meantime, we don't know, there is no suggestion that this car was stolen. Right? Right now, it's just the reckless driving want.
Yes, that's correct. We have no information about the driver, unfortunately. You know, possibly it could be stolen, but again, it appears that West Los Angeles LAPD officers saw this vehicle driving erratically, and that's the reason why they stopped. I would assume, you know, just from our experience covering breaking news together, Susan,
yep,
that this individual, more than likely not a home invasion or robbery suspect at this stage, because certainly they'd be trying to get away. It appears maybe this person, I would assume, would be under the influence of something which is causing them to react and act in this way.
I guess that's one theory. Or they just want to play cat and mouse, as you were saying earlier. Because as long as they're not in custody, they're not in custody, as we used to say when we watched police pursuits go on for hours at a time. It's going to get harder.
Yes, that's right. And
go ahead, Justin.
I've got to say, Susan, you got to think about this. Tesla's got a lot of cameras, so he's no doubt looking at the police in his rear mirror and can see them there or on the camera. I'll just pull out a little bit wider and just see if LAPD are making any activity on the front to head here to try and block. It appears that they're actually trying to keep him on Santa Monica Boulevard. You've got a vehicle here a little bit further up, one block up, LAPD ship. So the plan may be to try to keep him on Santa Monica Boulevard and not on any side streets.
And there it went again, at least a couple of feet, and then stopped. The more those tires deflate, the harder it's going to be to handle the car, or handle it well, anyway.
Yes, and I suppose certainly at these street speeds here, he's not going to lose control of it. But certainly if he picks up speed, I'm a big fan of Teslas, great cars, but certainly I'm not sure, don't know of any car that can run for too long when it doesn't have any air in the tires. And just making a stop here at Normandy. Of course, Normandy, one of the more famous streets in Los Angeles, and we've got the LAPD officers here. The officer there has obviously got his gun drawn. You can see the flashlight there, ready to tell that individual. I'm sure if that guy doesn't know that he should pull over now, it's certainly getting spoken to right now, saying, come on, mate, let's pull over. Continuing here, eastbound towards downtown.
A little bit of trivia for you, Justin. Santa Monica Normandy was where my stolen Tesla finally died, and I was able to recover it. Meantime, off to the side once again, the Tesla is pulled over. It seems so polite to pull over at the curb. It's just so odd. This is just one of the odder pursuits that we've had of late, where a car stops and goes again.
Yeah, that's why I come back to say that this individual, I assume, may be under the influence of something, saying, well, you know, let's have a bit of a game here. I'm not sure what's going through their mind. Obviously, if they were trying to flee police, they would be trying to get away. Maybe, like you said before, just trying to say, well, as long as he's in his car and he's got the air conditioning going, the radio on, he's certainly not sitting in a prison cell. So he, I just wonder, you know, maybe just having a bit of a bad night, unfortunately, and it's going to get a little bit worse for him before it gets better.
And what about the possibility, I don't think this is logical, but somebody says, well, if I do know that I'm under the influence, maybe I can wait it out so that once I do get out of the car and they start testing me for that kind of stuff, perhaps it would be gone. Okay, so what you're seeing in the right screen is older video. That's where you saw the car go over the spike strip. And so it's at that point that we know that one or two of the tires on the left side, on the driver's side, most likely punctured the tires. And now in the smaller screen, we are watching the progress, the live progress from Skyfox as that car is pulled over once again. And it appears we can see a little bit of the driver through the windshield there. Or perhaps it's just the way it's lit. But we see a shadow. We see a shadow.
It's a little silhouetted. It appears Yeah, a little silhouetted there, Susan. He appears actually there's a lot of stuff in the back of the vehicle there, as if he's looks like plastic or something like that. I believe he is wearing a seatbelt, and but again, LAPD on the scene here, trying to keep him on Santa Monica Boulevard, a wider street, and I think we're getting a bit of a crowd forming too on the side, watching here. Certainly, if you're on the street and you see a bunch of police cars like this, I know my own experience, I try to get away from them because I don't want to get caught up in some traffic jam. You see these officers here at the ready just in case the individual does get out and to either decide to give up or run. You can see them there. They're what they call Code 6 out of the vehicle there. And here the vehicle's on the move again.
So we got one vehicle with the driver.
Crash.
Oh, what was that?
He's crashed there.
Deliberate crash?
Deliberately crashed the vehicle, Susan. Yeah, deliberate crash there. We're just going to
now we got
relocate
the officers out.
Skyfox Ranch to get a bit of a view.
Yep, they're running towards the vehicle now. So they're out of the police officers are out of their vehicle. That car is not going anywhere.
Yeah, so Susan, this car. Yeah, it appeared the car sped up and then deliberately ran into that parked vehicle there.
Well, that's as curious as the stop and go. But let's see what police will do at this point. They're considering this end of pursuit, but until the driver is out and driver secured, then it is not a done job. It's not over.
Yeah.
But we're watching as the police officers are out of their vehicles. Here's the thing about pursuits, and we talk about this often, about, you know, they know what the want is, but that doesn't mean they know very much about the driver. And in this case, it seems like they don't have it much at all. Oh, okay, so he's got at least one arm out the window with the window down. It's a good sign. So perhaps this person is willing to exit the vehicle.
Yes, that's right, Susan. He's got his left arm out the vehicle there. No doubt officers are telling him to put both arms out. You can see they've all got their guns drawn. When they first arrived there, you could see them yelling past the Tesla, no doubt warning any, there must have been pedestrians or people standing on the corner there, telling them to get out of the line of fire. So no doubt ordering this person to get out of the vehicle, or at least throw the keys out, show his hands outside. You know, he's raising his left hand there. It appears that he is going to give himself up, but yes, the second hand coming out, and hopefully this person will be in custody very shortly, Susan.
Does he have something in his right hand? It's hard to tell. I know his left hand is palms out, but the right hand?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see very well. Okay.
Yeah, it appears that
he's going to try to open the door, although why wouldn't you just open it from inside? I don't know. Maybe he's not familiar with this car. Okay, door is open.
Yep.
Hand on his head.
Oh, is that a bot? Yeah, Susan, it appears that looked like some type of cylinder, gas cylinder there, possibly NOS. Would that be correct? I'll just have to get a closer shot of that. That would indicate he would have been under the influence
of NOS. So that's not the airbag that blew out of the steering wheel, huh? Oh, he's barefoot.
An airbag blew, but also a canister. Yeah.
Oh, it fell out.
So, yes, if I just tilt up a little bit, a yellow, some type of canister there, he had on his lap. That fell out as he got out. And the gentleman here being ordered to walk backwards, hands on his head. You'll see kneeling down now. LAPD officers here will approach him very shortly and put handcuffs on him, as well as they'll keep some officers with their guns trained on the Tesla there to ensure that just in case there is somebody else in the vehicle, that they don't pose a threat to the officers. The person being told there to lay down on the concrete, and the officers are slowly here. They'll approach at any moment.
So a successful end to pursuit. This man does not appear to be injured. None of the officers appear to be injured. As far as we know, there's nobody in the car. Oh, interesting. He put the emergency lights on, although perhaps the Tesla is designed to flash emergency lights if there is any kind of impact like what we saw there. And if those are airbags that came out of the steering wheel, perhaps that triggers the emergency lights on the Tesla. But Justin, it's an interesting conjecture there. If that is some kind of a canister, a gas canister, NOS canister, that could indeed explain reckless driving, and also the fact that the driver was reluctant to stop and show his hand, so to speak. The reason why he was perhaps less inclined to stop. So guns drawn by these police officers.
Yes, absolutely. And
they do not appear to be
yeah, absolutely, Susan.
ill at ease.
No, I think the police officers, you've got to treat all these with the same caution, although it may have only appeared to be one person in the car.
Okay, so, Justin, we just...
but, yeah, very interesting.
We just re-showed the crash, and you're right. At first, I wasn't clear whether or not it looked as if the driver purposefully went into the car, crashed into the car, but you're right. He definitely took a little swerve there so that he could aim straight at that other car, whatever it is, a Prius. And so I would agree with you. I know you couldn't see the fact that we rewound the video and showed it once again. But yeah, he's on the ground now, and police officers will be clearing the car shortly, because at this point it looks as if there's no one else in the vehicle. You can always tell a lot by the stance of the police officers. There's still guns out, but not in a way that suggests that there is too much danger. Lots of stuff in the trunk. Maybe or maybe not of value to the police officers, but meantime, nobody in the trunk.
Yes, that's correct. Just making sure that there's no other crime that's being committed there as well. That actually appeared to look like a microwave or some type of household item. Looking here in the front of the vehicle, I assume they're checking to see if there's no sparking or fire, although there's no smoke coming from the car as well.
Yeah, that's the frunk.
And this gentleman's still laying down there on the ground.
That's what we call the frunk.
Oh,
and there's really not much storage. There's not, you can't really access anything. It's not an engine or anything like that, but there's a little bit of storage in there, so they just needed to clear it, make sure everything is okay. Justin O'Brien up in Skyfox, thank you for your commentary and letting us know about this reckless driver now successfully in custody by the LAPD. Started as a want out of West Hollywood, but it was eventually West LA LAPD that caught up with this gentleman as we watched him drive through Hollywood. All right, we will have more news after this break.